It's Thursday, May the 11th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, pregnant women in Barbados are increasingly being abused by their partners who set out to inflict as much injury as possible to both mother and unborn child, and that's according to a recent survey. The European-funded study on domestic violence in the Caribbean, carried out in Barbados and Grenada between April and July last year among 109 participants, found alarming evidence that violence against women increased after they became pregnant. Because the research was qualitative, it did not determine what percentage of expectant mothers faced abuse. However, there were sufficient cases to conclude that the problem was serious. There's satisfaction this morning that the Barbados economy is showing signs of recovery, but there are concerns that it still is in trouble. President of the Umbrella Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, Cedric Murrell, says the latest central bank report confirmed that the economy was still troubled despite some green shoots in the form of 2% growth and a small increase in the international reserves. Meanwhile, President of the Barbados Economic Society, Jeremy Stephen, has welcomed the 2% growth, but thinks the biggest takeaway from the report should be the admission that all is not well. This island's premier manufacturers showcase is here again, with 27 new exhibitors slated to display their wares. Executive Director of the Barbados Manufacturers Association, Bobby McKay, told the launch of BMEX 2017 yesterday that to date, there were some 129 exhibitors who will be showing off their goods and services during the June 2 to 5 event at the Lloyd Erskine Santa Center.
This year's show will be a mythbuster, totally discrediting the fable that foreign products are better than locally produced goods. The craftsmanship, creativity, and excellence that will be on display can only serve to reinforce the quality of local manufacturing. We do not deny that as a sector we have faced many challenges, in much the same way as others have. However, with tenacity, the industry has held its own, building capacity, investing in equipment, improving its standards, and developing its human resources.
McKay was also over the moon regarding what she said would be the biggest contingent of local models and the success stories of those who took part in past years.
Every year have success stories. I think the one we're most excited about right now is young Miss Harris, who went on to become Miss Barbados Universe, who was one of the students just about 3 years ago, who came on board, auditioned, and modeled, and is now doing very well. There are other ones who have come on, who've been scouted, and many of them are overseas, and these are just secondary students who came out to try out and enjoy now what they do. Some are making a living at it. Another one is young Zoe Allenby, who is in Miami working with a designer. She has really taken off and is doing extremely well. So I'm looking forward to see what becomes of a lot of the young ones from this year.
Tensions between the Ministry of Education and the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union are once again poised to reach the boil, as the union's shop stewards met behind closed doors yesterday afternoon at the BSTU's Belleville St. Michael headquarters. Sources told Barbados Today that industrial action could possibly be on the cards over what the union perceives to be the recent unfair dismissal of several teachers. While promising to make an official announcement today on the union's position regarding the teachers, BSTU President Mary Redmond gave an insight with respect to at least one of its members.
And so, because of the various ways in which this member of ours has had her rights violated, the unwillingness of the board to meet, and the fact that they are now seeking, or rather have sought, legal advice to indicate that they will no longer be meeting, there will be no further meetings with them, and that their decision stands, will force the union to have to act in a way to secure justice for that member.
The electricity landscape in Barbados is in for major changes as the Barbados Light and Power Company seeks to satisfy 100% of the country's power demand from renewable energy sources. The company is also aiming to electrify the entire country by 2045. As part of these plans, Barbadians can expect changes to the electricity infrastructure and pricing, as well as greater use of technology. Managing Director of the BLMP, Roger Blackman, gave an insight into the upgrades as he addressed the Barbados Employers Confederation's annual luncheon at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center yesterday.
And negotiated controls, so no longer one-way controls when the utility is sending signals necessarily to a device on the network. You will have smart devices on the network that will evaluate what's happening with the condition of the system and make decisions on its program to evaluate and open and close when appropriate.
Blackman said he is pleased with the build-out of renewable energy usage on the island, but pointed out it was still far from where it should be.
This growth increased our labour costs, which was manageable as sales growth outpaced those increases. That era has come to an end, and the graph to the right of the slide shows cumulative growth in decades from 1997 to date. So what you're seeing here is growth of around 70%, 1977 to 1987, growth of just under 60% in the following decade, growth of about 50%, I think. Not seeing the slide clear from here. The last decade, it's been pretty much flat. You can see the dramatic change.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
When it comes to your family, what do you dream of? Enjoying the sights of Italy, seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time, or experiencing the cuisine of Spain? Courts can make your family dream come true. Shop at Courts for a chance to win a dream cruise for a family of 4. Spend $999 or over at any Courts store or online at shopcourts.com. Every $100 gets you a chance to win that cruise to give you more fun time with your family by cruising the Mediterranean, a value of over $20,000. So stop dreaming and start shopping to make your dream come true at Courts, bringing value home.
We're back with news from the region now. The political winds of change have blown ferociously in the Bahamas. Prime Minister Perry Christie's Progressive Liberal Party was last night forced to concede defeat after suffering a crushing general election loss and failing to secure a second consecutive term in office, with exit polls projecting a major win for the opposition Free National Movement of Dr. Hubert Manis, and the official count still in progress last night. The PLP, which lost all 5 seats on Grand Bahama, wasted no time in accepting the will of the electorate. Party Chairman Bradley Roberts delivered his concession speech around 8 p.m. Bahamas time, that's 9 p.m. Barbados time, from the PLP's headquarters, telling state-run ZNS Television the party will now have to regroup and carry out a thorough assessment of what went wrong. And on the international scene, young Venezuelan protesters lobbed bottles and bags of feces at soldiers who fought with tear gas yesterday to block the latest march in more than a month of the nationwide protests against socialist President Nicolas Maduro. The extraordinary scenes on the main highway through Caracas came as thousands of opposition supporters again poured onto the streets, decrying Venezuela's economic crisis and demanding elections. And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.